Okay, on the second line of Chav Tesam Aleph, and it talks about Tisha B'Av now. The previous Gemara spoke about Shabbos B'Tammuz. The Mishnah says 5 things happened for our forefathers on Shabbos B'Tammuz and 5 on Tisha B'Av. Here the Gemara starts. Second line. Tisha B'Av Nigz Alav B'Seinu Shelo Yikansol Loretz. On Tisha B'Av, that has to do with the Meraglim. Then it was decreed that Am Yisrael at that time shouldn't go into Eretz Yisrael because of the Chet of the Meraglim. And the Gemara makes the Chesh, but how do you know that it came out on the 9th of Av? How do you know? The next couple of lines, some don't have that. Some take it out. The next couple of lines because l'chora is not necessary for the cheshbon. No, we can read it. I'll read it, but you'll see that it's not so relevant. The third line, "Vahi b'chodesh Harishon, Tashana Hashem is b'echad l'chodesh Shukal Mishkan." The Mishkan was erected in the first year coming out of Mitzrayim on the second year, on the first of the first month. Rosh Chodesh Nisan, the Mishkan was erected. That the Mishkan was built during the first year, but it was erected in the second year. It says Rosh Chodesh Nisan of the second year. It's not. I don't know why the Gemara brings that. Some take it out because it doesn't seem to be relevant. In the second year, we want to knock it down. We want to isolate it. Which day did Moshe Rabbeinu send them Meraglim, and then to know they came later when Zera that Am Yisrael. So the first piece of information we need is that in the second month, the 20th of the month, Chaf Iyar, 20th day in Iyar, that's when the Mishkan, the Anan moved, and that's when they started their traveling. The Gemara is going to make a cheshbon of all the episodes that happened consecutively, even though the pasuk might not think that they happened namish consecutively, all the different episodes. The Gemara is going to say that they did, and that's going to be the cheshbon of be able to figure out when.
So the Mishkan has something. The time of this Mishkan has something to do with the Meraglim being sent.
Because we're going to see now when they started, Mishkan started moving, and all the episodes. This is a date. Here you have a date. Chaf Iyar. This is the only date we have. After that, he does have amounts of time. We're going to see how many days. And
if you really went back, you just go 40 days from Tisha B'Av.
How do you know? Yeah, but we don't know Tisha B'Av. That's what the Gemara. We're trying to find out Tisha B'Av. You have the given already, but you're going after the fact. But we don't know that it's Tisha B'Av. Right, we don't know it's Tisha B'Av. So the only date the Gemara has is Esrim B'Chodesh. Chodesh Hasheni, Esrim B'Chodesh. The second month, the 20th of the month. That's the date. After that, we have a bunch of episodes. Each episode it says how many days it was. And then we just count up the days and we're going to find out when they sent them Meraglim. So this is the date. Chodesh Hasheni, Esrim B'Chodesh. Chaf Iyar, 20th day in the year, that's when the Anan started moving. Then it says the next episode, they traveled for 3 days, and the Gemara takes it to mean 20, 21, 22. It doesn't mean that when they said they traveled on the 20th, that's included the date. They traveled 20, 21, 22. From Rabbi Chanina, Rabbi Chanina, Osa Yom Sar Me'achmi Hashem, that passage that says that they traveled from the Har Hashem. Rashi brings down the Drash Mehar by Yisum Mehar Hashem, so it can be read also Maher, that they went 3 days. They traveled away from everything that they did, that they kept on traveling. Of course, yes, the kasha has to be asked that the Anan was going for 3 days, so it's not a time that they went for 3 days. But it seems like that the Gemara says that Ketina Kabarech me based that they didn't want to be by us anymore. They had, that's maybe a drash, but it's not necessary really for the Gemara. I don't know why the Gemara brings it down here. It's not much necessary. But as far as the date goes, we have 20, 21, 22. So 22 days in Iyar. The next episode, that's when the people they wanted meat by Yeshua by Yikul in Israel, that they started crying. And over there it says Hashem sent them slug, the birds, quail they call it. They're going to eat it for a month. The Mefarshim talk about Chodesh Yomim. Does that mean 30 days or 29 days? Because in a lunar month, it's sometimes 20. It's really 29 and a half. So some Mefarshim take it over here to mean 29 days. If we take 29 days, Devalahu Esrin Betartin B'Sivan. If we went before from 22 days in Iyar, so now 29 days later is going to be 22 days in Sivan. If you have that, if you say a Chodesh is going to be 30 days, it'll be off. But this chart says that 29 days, that the Chodesh means 29 days. So we were holding by 22 days in Iyar, and now another 29 days comes out to be 22 days in Sivan. Devlu Esri B'Tartin B'Sivan. So we're holding 22 days in Sivan. The next episode was that Miriam was secluded for 7 days. So 22 and 7 is 29. Devlu Esri B'Tartin B'Sivan. So the whole Esri B'Tisha B'Sivan. So they're holding now 29 days in Sivan, and the next episode is about the Meraglim. Uksiv shlach lecha anashim. So it comes out that they sent them Meraglim on the 29th day of Sivan.
So we don't have a first what day it was sent.
Yeah.
It doesn't say before, you should just made a cheshbon. We have the cheshbon of the date that says before, a long time ago, it says on the 20th of Iyar. We counted up all the episodes that happened until then, and it came out to be the 29th day in
Right, but 40 days later. it's
in
Tisha B'Av.
Sivan, right? And now the Gemara also has a brisa. Besides the cheshbon, it says a brisa also the same thing. B'tanya v'esrim v'tisha b'Sivan shalach Moshe meraglim. It says that also. The brisa says openly 29th day of Sivan is when Moshe sent him meraglim. And now how long did it take? 40 days. So it comes out to be that they came back on the 8th. So here the cheshbon, the Gemara is going to say right away. Usually Tammuz is only 29 days, so that throws things off. But the Gemara is going to say in a second that Tammuz of that year was 30 days. So if we're holding by the 29th of Sivan, so what the Gemara is going to do is 29. So you have 29th and the 30th.
Right.
Did I say it right? That's now 29th of Sivan,
Yeah, 29
They
and
said-
30 is 2 days, and then you have 30, 38. It comes out to the.
and then 30 of Tammuz, and then 8 more. And then 8 more. They said they came back on the 8th of and then that night they cried.
Ah.
That was the eve of Tisha B'Av. And then they became Tisha B'Av.
Wow.
So it comes back. They came back on the 8th, and then the Gzera was when they cried. Then the Gzera was that they're not going to go to Eretz Yisrael. That's the most to figure out that it was on Tisha B'Av.
Wow.
But the Gemara Kasha, first the Gemara doesn't, the cheshbon didn't work out. Hani Arbam Yom Naki Chad Havu. This is 39 days because to get, if you want to say that it was Ches Av, but the Gemara first thinks that Tammuz is 29. Usually Tammuz is only 29 days, so the cheshbon doesn't work out. Amar Abaye Tammuz Deishat Amuluya Mal. That year they made Tammuz should be a full month, 30 day month. It's an exception. The Gemara dashes this. The Pashup Shan, the Pasuk means that Hashem made a certain time, a Moed, a certain time. But the Gemara makes that the Moed is referring to Rosh Chodesh, that Rosh Chodesh should be does Rashi say that the Moed is referring to Rosh Chodesh over here? I don't see Rashi saying that, but I think somebody says that. If not, it means that Hashem orchestrated that it should come Dafka out on Tisha B'Av, so Hashem made that's when it should be. It should be, so in order that it should be Tisha B'Av, so Hashem made that year it happened that Tammuz was a 30-day month. And that night, after the Meraglim came back, so that night they cried. And that was the night of Tisha B'Av. The first wide line, Amar Rabba Amar Rabbi Yochanan. They take out, it says here, Osa Yom Erev Tisha B'Av, they say that it should be really that night. The night is that night is the Leil Tisha B'Av. Amar Lahem HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Atam B'chisa B'chia Shalchina, V'ani Kaveh Lachem B'chia L'Doros. You cried for nothing. I'm going to make that they should cry for all generations. Because since they cried, Hashem was trying to give them the biggest present that he said is the best. And now he's always trying. That's the biggest pagam to say that Hashem is not doing for them. When Hashem says that, I heard this from Rabbi Zilberman that the fate of the Meraglim is considered worse than other Chatam. They do about the Zohar, other things. The Egel thought that Egel is worse than the Meraglim. But he said that when Hashem is saying that I'm giving you the best present, and then the son comes and he says, this is a present. So that's the biggest pagam. It's like the whole relationship is distorted. If they have some Yetzirah to do about the Zohar, they want to get something, it's bad, but it's more understandable than here that they denied the whole Tova that Hashem is doing. So that's called the Bechia Shalchinam, and then the Nifchos Bechia L'Doros. So that was the first Gemara that spoke about the Gzeira that Am Yisrael shouldn't go into Eretz Yisrael, that generation of the Meraglim, and that came out, the Cheshbon came to be on the night of Tisha B'Av. The next thing it says in the Mishnah was the Churban Abayis. Both of the Batei Mikdash, both of the temples were destroyed on Tisha B'Av, and now it's going to bring the source of that. It doesn't say openly in the pasuk. It's a little, also like a drash.
You see the whole universe of religious stories.
Yeah. Churban Abayis Barishona, the first time that the Churban happened, the destruction of the first temple, the Chsiv. Now it's not going to say openly that it was the 9th. What does it say? There are 2 psukim over here. One of them is in Melachim, and one of them is in Yirmiyah. And the 2 psukim seem to contradict each other. One is going to say the 7th of Av, one's going to say the 10th. It says that it was the 7th of the month. The 5th month is Av, but it says the 7th of the month, Zayin Av. That's the Melech Bavel. That's the 19th year of the kingdom of Nebuchadnezzar, of his rule. One of Uzara, then Rav Tabachim, Eved Melech Bavel, Yerushalayim, Vayisuf as Beis Hashem. There was Radon, the chief executioner of the king of Nebuchadnezzar. He came to Yerushalayim from Babel, and he burnt the house of Hashem. So it says here that happened on this Zion Zion of. Another pasuk. This is a pasuk. That was a pasuk in Malachim, not a pasuk in Yirmiyah. Uksiv, saying the same story. Uksiv uvachodesh achamishi v'asal achodesh. Here it says the 10th. One pasuk says the 7th. One pasuk says the 10th. Same pasuk. Hishnas chas re'eshana lamelach Nebuchadnezzar melech Babel. That was the 19th year of the king of Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babel. One of Uzara, then Rav Tabachim, Muhammad of them. There's a 10. The 10 Yev Shalom B'Shiva Shabbat Asa. Yev Shalom Asa Shabbat B'Shiva. You can't say it's the 7th because it says a 10th. You can't say it's a 10th because it's a 7th. So what is it? We reconcile the two again. Ushmini. On the 7th, came into the Heichal and they ate and they did bad over there for the 7th and the 8th. And the 9th day, towards the evening, when it was 9th, that's when they ignited the Beis Hamikdash on fire. And the whole day of the 10th. Woe to us that the day has passed, that the shadows of night came. So it sounds like that's the night, when the night of Tisha B'Av, that's probably what it's referring to. Pana Yom, I think it's referring to the 9th day. Rabbi Yochanan, some say Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, if I would have been there, I would have made the day of mourning to be on the 10th, because most of the Echel was burnt on the 10th, not on the 9th. But how come they made it on the 9th? The Rabbanan of that generation that said that it should be on the 9th, Rabbanan eschalted the Pernusa Adifa, that when it started happening, that's the main point. The point is when they ignited it, that's when the big destruction is. Yeah. The fact that it actually burnt on the 10th, we still mourn the beginning. All this was to explain, where do you see that the Churban should happen on the 9th? The answer is because the one pasuk says the 7th, one pasuk says the 10th.
We answer the pasuk that says the 10th.
That it burned the 10th. Right. So they came in and it was on the 7th. It means the pasuk alone you can't tell that was the 9th. I don't think you'd be able to tell. But that's what the more is saying, that's what the pasuk mean. When it says 7th and the 10th, they started and the 7th, 8th, 9th, and then the 9th they burnt it. They ignited it towards the evening, and then it burnt on the 10th. And that's how the two psukim are reconciled. Then they made that the Avelos, the morning, should be on the 9th, because that's when it was first ignited.
How do they have a source for these 2 days of Mitzchakim, them, and they're going in there 7th and 8th?
Because it says, one pasuk says the 7th. One pasuk says the 7th, one pasuk says the 10th.
And the 10th is like final.
The 10th is the final, and the 7th was the beginning. Now the Gemara goes on, how do you know that the second Beis Hamikdash was destroyed on Tisha B'Av? Also, the Tanya. So the Gemara is going to say that we know so. It's not going to say a source. It's just going to say that we know. We know that it was the 9th of Av. And the Gemara is going to say that Hashem rules that a good thing should happen on a good day and a bad thing should happen on a bad day. And that's why Hashem made that the Churban Bayis Sheni should be on the same day as the Churban Bayis Rishon. But it doesn't bring a source. The first Churban, the destruction of the first temple, Osay Yom Erev Tisha B'Av, they say, take out the word Erev. Osay Yom Tisha B'Av, it was Tisha B'Av. Umatzai Shabbos, it was a Sunday. Umatzai Shvius, it was the first year of the cycle of Shemitah. Matzai Shvius means, Shvius is the 7th year, Matzai Shvius means the next year. Same way, Matzai Shabbos is another way of saying Sunday. The day that, of course, we call Matzai Shabbos only the night. But the following day, Sunday, is also called Matzai Shabbos, after Shabbos left. And Matzai Shvius. And also,
the Shvius was
the year before. Shvius was the year before. This is the first year of the cycle, the first year of the new cycle. I don't know what the Gemara is coming to say with this, but it says it was a few firsts. It was the first day of the week. It was the first year of the cycle of Shemitah. And also, Mishmata Shel Yehoyarov. So we had the 24 watches of the Kohanim, the 24 families, and Yehoyarov is the first. So I don't know what the Gemara means to say with all this, that it was the first day of the week, the first year of Shemitah, and the first cycle of the new cycle of Kohanim, of the 24 Mishmaros. But that's what it seems to say. But the main point is to say that it was, here it says it was Tisha B'Av so far. But Levium, the Gemara is going to end, the Bryce is going to end off that it was also by the second. We have to get to those words, but we'll continue still. It's talking about the first Beis Hamikdash. But Levium HaYomim Shira, when the Goyim came to destroy the Beis Hamikdash, the Levium was saying Shira. They were on the platform where they said Shira. Which Shira were they saying? So really it's a Sunday, and they should have said the David Mizmor, Hashem Arasam Allah, like we do. But they were saying something else. Vayashav aleim asonam u'basam yasmisem. Yasmisem Hashem Elokeinu. That's what we say on that's Kel Nakomos Hashem that we say on a Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
And they point out that really was the wrong shiva, but Hashem made that it should fall out. They should make a mistake and say that.
Right.
And that seems that Hashem orchestrated it. That they should say the Torah that Hashem brought upon them their evil, and in their evil Hashem cuts them off. Well, I speak alone. Hashem Elokeinu. I didn't even have a chance to finish off the pasuk.
Yes, Rabbi, Wednesday was the day that we got back 67 more. That was the turnout. Rav Nachman always says.
Wow. He wants to put it together with this Gemara
With
here?
this Gemara.
Yes, we say
Wednesday was the day that we got back also.
that even in the middle of the pasuk, the goyim came and they stopped the shiva. They weren't able to continue even in the middle of the pasuk. But the main thing that the Gemara is bringing this brisa for is the next words, v'chein b'shniya. And this also, all this happened also with the second base of Mikdash. It was Tisha B'av. It was on a Sunday. It was the first year of the Shemitah cycle. It was the Mishmar of Yehoyarib. It seems that all this happened. So the brisa says so. It doesn't say a source. It's saying a brisa. There's not going to be any pasuk because it's talking about the Churban Bayis Sheni already, which is post Tanakh. But it says that it was the same day. The brisa says it has to do with Megal and Chol V'alei Chayim. That a bad thing is going to happen on a bad day. So that's what we
This whole brisa starts Galgalin.
Yes, and it ends off V'chein B'shni on the first one, including the words V'chein B'shni. V'chein B'shni, that's the main point that the Gemara wants. V'chein B'shni, that also happened on the second. I'm not sure what it says over here than it says in the Mishnah. The Mishnah also says that it happened in Tisha B'av. But here, maybe the point is that the Brisa wants to say that it was as the Churban Bayis Rishon. It could be that it all goes back to the Meraglim. It could be the reason why it happened is because the Bechila Doros goes back before. It could be that the whole thing started as they cried about going into Eretz Yisrael.
I shouldn't say that. You'll cry for the rose. That's your proof.
Right. And that's the Megal and Chol V'alei Chayim on the first base of Mikdash also. Here the Gemara says in Megal and Chol V'alei Chayim on the second base of Mikdash. V'chein b'Rishon v'chein b'Shniya. But the Gemara needs to go back to the first thing by the Meraglim. So I had already, what did it say? It said the Nigzal was saying that they shouldn't go into Eretz Yisrael after the Meraglim, and then the Churban Bayis Rishon, Churban Bayis Sheni. And then there are two more things the Mishnah says happened on Tisha B'av. Nilkat Beitar. Beitar was captured. Beitar was a big city, and it was captured by the Goyim. I think it was about 60 years after the Churban, I think so. And Gemara, that's just a tradition. We don't have any source for that. And they say also, Nechmi Shahir, the city of Yerushalayim was raised, also Gemara. Like that, there's a Gersh that says Gemara. There's also as a tradition. We have no other source to bring that from. Just we know that that's what had happened. And the Mishnah Bayas says so. Tanya, second wide line, Kishechorav. Some say here Kishechorash. Seems to be a better Gersa. Kishechorav. Here it says Kishechorav. Tunis Rufus Arash Hechel. That wouldn't make sense because Tunis Rufus is not the one who destroyed the Hechel. It was Titus. So Tunis Rufus, it says that he plowed the place of the Hechel. So before it says he plowed the city of Yerushalayim, that was on Tisha B'av, and now it says that eventually he also plowed the place of the Hechel also. So the Gemara goes into a different story now. We finished already the 5 things of Tisha B'av, and now the Gemara goes on. Once we mentioned about Nechmi Shahir with Tunis Rufus was the one who did it. So now it says something else that happened on that day. That a decree came out that Gamaliel should be killed. Gamaliel was in the house of the Nasi, and the Romans wanted to kill him. They went out a decree that he should be killed. So really, usually it says Hegmon. Adon was a censorship that is Hegmon. I don't know what the word Hegmon means either, but it was something more derogatory. One of the officials of the Romans. I'm sorry?
Butchers. They were butchers. Right?
This one's going to come out to be good. He's going to be a good man. So maybe we can give him the honor. One of the officers of the Romans, he came into the base medrash and he wanted to say Rabbi Gamliel. I don't know what the word Balachotim means, the one who has the nose. So Rashi says it means like a chosh of a man. I'm not sure how that expresses itself by the one who has the nose. I'm not sure. But that was what he was trying to hint. He didn't want to say Beferish, but he shouldn't get in trouble. But he said that the Balachotim is seeked, is being sought after. They're looking for the Balachotim. He knew that it's him. Rabbi Gamliel knew that it's him. Shamar Rabbi Gamliel, Azul Tasha Minayu. So Rabbi Gamliel heard and he went and he hid. So that Egmon, that Adon, was a good man. He wanted to save Rabbi Gamliel. And he also found out where he was hiding and he went to see him. This Roman officer, he went to Rabbi Gamliel in privacy. If I'm going to save you, are you going to bring me to Olam Haba? Yes. So he said, swear to me. So Rabbi Gamliel swore to him that he's going to get him to Olam Haba if he saves him. He went up to the roof and he fell himself and he died, and that was a way to nullify the decree. They had such a custom over there by the Romans that when one of their officers dies after a decree was made, they nullify the decree. Rashi says maybe they took it as a bad sign, maybe it was a bad, whatever their reason was, they had such a kind of a custom that if somebody of their officers dies, nullify the decree. They had such a, we know that when they had a gzera, and then one of them died, they nullified the gzera. So this way, Rav Gamliel, he was free. They weren't going to kill him anymore. They nullified the decree. And a voice from heaven came and said that Roman officer is invited to prepared, ready for Olam Haba. He can't get Olam Haba.
Adon is not a bad term.
Right, so here it's okay to call him Adon. Usually it's only it's a censorship here also. It really said Hegmon, but that Hegmon, he became good, so he gets Olam Haba. He talks about in general. Goyim usually don't have Olam Haba, but somebody like this, it becomes good from made like that. Yeah. Tanu Rabbanan. There is such a thing that a guy could have Olam Haba. The Ramchal talks about it. It seems to be a machlokes of Lezer Yeshua. The Gemara Sanhedrin talks about that. It says by those who don't have a chayot Olam Haba, one of them is Bilam. And it says Bilam not, that's mashma that everybody else, other guy could have Olam Haba. So I think later on expresses it is that the most that they could be in Olam Haba is going to be something that's found to the Jews. They can't be their own identity. They could be somebody who's like secondary to the Jews, like a labush. He says like clothing to their body. So too a guy could be Olam Haba, a secondary to a Jew. I guess over here is going to be secondary to Ram Gamliel because it saved his life.
It's a big body to be clothed.
Yeah.
Very big in the shop.
Yeah, like that Japanese guy that saved all the whole Nuri sheep. So, what is
People.
Tana Rabbanan. So the Gemara brings some more stories now about the Chorban. Tana Rabbanan Mishachar Bais Barishon and Eskapsu Kitos. They say Kishachar. That little bit of says Kishachar. When the first Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Eskapsu Kitos Shal Pirchei Kuna Umaftechas Eichel Biyadan. That groups of Kohanim gathered. Pirchei Kohanim is young Kohanim. Young Kohanim gathered, and they had the keys of the Eichel in their hands. I mean, like any door has a key, so they had the keys of the Eichel. They went up to the roof of the Heichel. They said to Hashem, since we didn't merit that we should be trustworthy treasurers, means we didn't do our job well, so the keys should be given over to you. You take back the keys. They threw up the keys towards the heaven. Yotza came pieces, and like a palm of hand came out and received the keys. The handcuffs to the Nafal, and then they fell into the fire with the Beis Hamikdash. They killed themselves by falling into the fire that the Beis Hamikdash was burning. And what time Yeshayahu Navi eulogizes, Masa Gechi Zayon, Malach Epoki Alis Kulo Gago, Shiros Malaya, Iomia, Kiyaliza, Halalach Lo Halalechor, Baloma Isay, Milchama. So Yerushalayim is called Gechi Zayon. So this is a nevuah about Yerushalayim. And why have you gone up to the roofs? Why have you all gone up to the roofs? So this is what it's referring to. The Gemara is saying that in the pasuk you can't tell what does it mean going up to the roofs, but that's what the Gemara is saying, that this story that happened, that they went up to the roof of the Beis Hamikdash in order to kill themselves and return the keys. That's what the pasuk is referring to. So you used to be a big city that was full of movement. Tishuvos
what?
Tishuvos is a movement, not the word commotion in a good way, like when something is full of action. Mm-hmm. So it was used to be a big city, Yeromiyah, like a city that had a lot of noise, everything was moving. Kiryat Liza, the happy city, but then they got killed.
Maybe that's also the name of Yerushalayim.
Yeah, yes, probably. And here it says, those who are Jews that are slain were not slain by the sword and not died of Muhammad. And what's the Gemara dashing over here? That they killed themselves. They fell into the fire, so they didn't die by the sword. They didn't die in the war. They killed themselves by falling into the fire when the Beis Hamikdash is burning, so they killed themselves also. That's not the pasuk. That's not the pasuk. Then the Gemara says the Kadosh Baruch Hu also was crying. It says Be'akadosh Baruch Hu, something out the base. Kadosh Baruch Hu Nema Mekarker Kir V'Sho Alahor. This pasuk is saying that Hashem was crying, and it does say Beferish over here was Hashem, I think, but they dash over here because it says Lashon Yachid. I think some say since it says, I don't see Rashi right now, but some have a guess here that since it says it in a singular and not in a plural, so the Gemara Dashins is referring to Hashem.
What are these words? Mekarker Kir V'Shua.
Shoah Rashi Shoah means like crying out, and it's like Shavah. Rashi says here the Mekarker means Yalala. You see Rashi over here, Yalashon Yalala, wailing. Kir V'Shoah Mekonen V'Zoek. He brings psukim where you find the word Shavas Basami. You see the word Shavah means crying, and the word Kir also means crying.
Secure.
Keep it both of them, right?
Kir.
And the unfortunately say that since it says it in the singular, so it's referring to Hashem. The mission then starts about the halachas about Tisha B'Av, and it says from the beginning of Av, he's supposed to minimize Simcha, and the Gemara earlier said that refers to not doing business and not planting. If it's Binyan Shel Simcha, Natiyah Shel Simcha, the Gemara said that earlier by the 13 days over there. Rav Yehuda, the son of Shmuel Bar Shilas, in the name of Rav. I'm just pointing out the name because the Gemara is going to bring up some other things again because of this name. I got like a bonus because of the name, so just pointing out that this is the name of the Amora that's saying it over here. Rav Shmuel Bar Shilas was a Talmud of Rav, and this is his son, Rav Yehuda, the son of Rav Shilas, said in the name of Rav. So there's no such Mishnah. Everyone knows Mishnechnas Adam Rabbi Mesimcha. It's not. This is it. This is where it is.
Oh, there's
no Mishnah. This is the and the only one only learns it out from the same way, and he's the one who says it. Rav said that the same way the Mishnah says when Av enters, so then you might Besimcha. So too when Adar comes in, then you Marba Besimcha. This is the source of that. I think it doesn't say it in Pesachas Megillah. I think it says it over here. This is the source where you say Mishnechnas Adam Rabbi Mesimcha. This also is famous. This like Dina Badi Nachri, the Shtamet Minei Ba'av. If a Jew has some kind of a court case with a guy, he should try to avoid it during the month of Av to be a Muslim, because there's a bad Muslim from Israel during Av. So therefore, try to avoid having a court case with a guy. But Lim Nafshi Ba'adar, he should make himself available the court case to very Muslim. Then he has a strong Muslim. The Muslim is strong in Adar, and more chance that he'll be able to win. The pasuk says.
So this is the whole month of Av. Is it the whole month of Av?
I would think so. Yes, I would think so. Yes,
because many say after Tisha B'Av, or especially after the 15th, then that's fine.
So
but
the Gemara,
I suppose,
as far as I know, this says the whole month. But the Gemara is what you're talking about. The Gemara is going to say in the bottom of the page that Velus that we do, that the Gemara is going to say that it's only till Tisha B'Av. That's going to be the sugi at the bottom of the page. And even though some held that it was the whole month or the whole week at least, Shavua Shecholbo, we don't pass like that. We're going to pass that it's only until Tisha B'Av. But as far as this point, if it's like Rea Mazle or Bori Mazle, then it seems to be the whole month. But I can't say for sure.
I don't understand. It says Mishanichnas Adar, Mishanichnas Adar. It's the beginning. You have to be happy.
From the beginning until when?
Doesn't say the whole month.
Well, no, it means in the beginning. No, that's not only the first day. Only Rosh Chodesh Adar.
I mean, I can try from the word.
From when it comes in, from the entrance. It doesn't mean only the entrance. It doesn't only mean on Rosh Chodesh. It means from when it comes in, right away it starts Mamat and Besimcha. For sure, that means until Tisha B'Av. That's for sure going to mean the Mamat and Besimcha now mission for sure means at least until Tisha B'Av. Doesn't mean the whole. God is asking doesn't mean the whole month. So it is true that as far as the Avelos goes, that the Gemara is going to say on the bottom that it stops by Tisha B'Av. But as far as this point, that it should he try to avoid a Din Torah. The fact that the Gemara says trying to go to Adar and not Av, it sounds a little bit like it's the whole month. I can't say for sure, God. I can't say for, but I got the impression that it's the whole month. But a nice point to look into. The Gemara brings down another two members now that have nothing to do with us. L'chora, just bringing it down because of the name. We said Rav Yehuda Bred of Shmuel Bar Shilas, so we're going to bring in some more Ma'amorim.
What happened with Rav Papa?
He's the one who said that since Av is a bad month, so then if you have a Din Torah, you have a court case with the guys to try to avoid Av and try to get it into Adar. And that goes till the fourth line. The Prophet says, to give you a good end and a hope. So the Gemara says it's talking about in Bavel when they went Bavel, so there's some good. They do that's exile, but Hashem made this to be something good over there. That's the same name. That's why the whole Gemara comes here in parentheses. This point, Elu the color will clay pishtan in Bavel palm trees, and they to get parnasa from the dates. As Gemara said earlier, Rashi brings down that the dates satisfying, they're very healthy, and that doesn't take a lot of work. The wheat you have to plant and do 10 malachas until you get the wheat. But by dates, it's much easier to eat. The Gemara does say, be careful not to eat too many because it also causes shilshul. The Gemara says that it's not advisable to eat a lot. But the Gemara does say, also Gemara Pesachim says that the reason why Hashem brought them into Bavel is they could eat dates and learn Torah. So that's one good thing. They had color that was free. They had a free parnasa, and also clay pishtan, that it was probably cheap over there. They were able to get linen, clothing, also helpful for their parnasa. They have food and clothing that they were able to get in Babel at a cheap price. One more drasha from Rav Yehuda Beis Rav Shmuel Bar Shilas B'Shmei Derav. It says, "Vayoma, Rei Reich B'ni Keverech Sadeh Hashem B'Chol Hashem." This is Yitzchak talking about Yaakov. He thought that it was Esav, but it was Yaakov. So he says, "See the fragrance of my son, like the fragrance of the field that Hashem blessed." That's the apple orchard. Tyson says maybe it's referring to esrogim. I'm not sure, but I don't know what he used to say with this. That it was a very fragrant. I guess if you know, a son shel tapuchim is very fragrant. If we say can't translate tapuchim as apples, does anybody know about an apple orchard being extraordinary
I
fragrant?
remember being in the kibbutz days. I think I remember.
Yeah? Okay, Tyson says over here maybe it's esrogim. Tyson on the top over here. Something like that. Okay, the Gemara continues. Some halachas here about the 9 days, the 9 days. All the deal about the 3 weeks is monogamy. The Gemara doesn't talk about the 3 weeks from Shabbos to Tammuz until Tisha B'av. But the Gemara does talk about what's considered the 9 days. So here it says Shabbos Shechol Tisha B'av Lias Pesocha Asum L'Sapor L'Chabes. Only the week. It doesn't talk about from Rosh Chodesh. It says only from the week that Tisha B'av falls out in. What did the Mishnah say? Just to go back to the Mishnah. Right. So the Mishnah says that Shavuot Shechol. So here it says Shabbos Shechol Tisha B'av Lias Pesocha Asur L'Sapor L'Chabes. The week that Tisha B'av falls out in is usher to take a haircut and to wash clothing.
Oh,
So first of all, I want to know, is this clothing only to wear the washed clothing or even to wash? To wash alone, even if you're not going to wear it. That's a machlokes. To wash clothing is only if you're going to wash it and wear it. If you just want to wash without using it, you'd be allowed to. But Rav Sheshes says no, and we don't. Rav Sheshes even to wash it and leave it until after Tisha B'av is also awesome. Even the washing is also, Rashi says, washing alone is Mesiach Das Ben Avelos, that he's not thinking about the morning if he's washing clothing, even if he doesn't wear it. Rav Sheshes wants to prove that he's right, that it's also even to wash. That the Bati Katzvi the Beirav, because the launderers.
they didn't argue with him. Why is he proving it?
What's that?
They didn't challenge him.
Rav Nachman did. Rav Nachman
What did
argued.
he say?
Rav Nachman was first.
Oh, I
Rav
see. He
Nachman,
came before him.
L'chaba is the Lilbosh, but L'chaba's Nech is mutter. Rav Sheshes now appeal L'chaba's Nech is also Asa. Rav Sheshes, I'll prove to you that it's Asa because you see that's the minute. Bati Katzvi the Beirav. Katzvi is like the launderers. The launderers are Beirav. So I understand such a proof, but it's saying that that's the minute. You know, Lamaisa, that's what people do. That they close the laundry mats. Because the word Katzvi means the launderers. Masir Rav Amnuna. Rav Amnuna has a kasha on the one who says that it's Aser. Let's see, I forgot which way he's going to prove. It says in the Mishnah, B'chamishi mutam b'nei kvod Shabbos. It says that even though it's Aser to wash and to take a haircut the whole week of Tisha B'av, the week that the Tisha B'av falls out on, but on Thursday it's mutter because of honor of Shabbos. So that means that it comes, let's say, a case where Tisha B'av came out on Friday, so the whole week he's not allowed to wash clothing, and then so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is not allowed to, but Thursday is allowed to because everything else he's not going to have for Shabbos. So that's something.
When is Tisha B'av?
Let's say Tisha B'av came out on Friday.
Oh.
That's to give me the case. So he's allowed to wash on Thursday, the clothing, and normally he should have it for Shabbos. So if the whole issue is only to wear the clothing, how does washing the clothes and wearing the clothing on Thursday have anything to do with Shabbos? And I'll just say in different words. If there is no issue to wash clothing, this is only to wear the clothing, then it doesn't make any sense. You want to wash the clothing on Thursday in order to have it for Shabbos. But are you allowed to wash the clothing on Tuesday, Sunday? If you say, according to Rav Nachman, there's no issue to wash clothing.
Right.
This is only to wear the
Right.
clothing. So it doesn't make sense. If you cover Shabbos, you're allowed to wash it on Thursday. What does that have to do with anything? You're allowed to wash clothing anytime.
If you can do it on Thursday, you can also do the rest of it.
No, so it doesn't make sense. No, he says
Right.
after
Why
Thursday is
say,
mutter.
right.
The Mishnah says that every the whole week is also Thursday is mutter to cover Shabbos. That, but be able to wash it and then wear it on Shabbos. That's the most kasha.
It's a tiny on.
That's the kind of Nachman,
Yeah.
right? Lemai. What are we talking about? Special permission for Thursday. If you need special permission in order to wear it, my Kavod Shabbos Sika. Where's Kavod Shabbos by wearing it on Thursday? Wearing it on Thursday is going to to be able to wear it doesn't help anything. It must be that he's thus washing it in order to save it for later, after Tisha B'Av. And it's only a special letter of Thursday. It's only water on Thursday, the Shabbos, but it's also the rest of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're not allowed to wash it for Shabbos. So you see that Rav Nachman is wrong. You're not allowed to wash it. The Gemara says no. Rav Nachman could get out of it. You could say the case is that he only has one garment. He only has one garment. The one that he wears, that's what he has. So he wants to wear, he's going to wear on Shabbos also. He doesn't have a special Shabbos garment. It's not that he's wearing one thing and he's washing something else for Shabbos. Then you're right. He can wash it any day he wants to. But he's going to wash it now and have to wear it in order to have it for Shabbos. So even if Rav Nachman will say, really, there's no issue to wash it. If you have two pairs of clothing, so wash one on Sunday, Monday, no problem. There's no issue to wash. This is only to wear it. But this case, he comes to the Rav, he says, I only have one garment. If I want to wear new clothing, wash clothing for Shabbos, I have to wash it and wear it on Thursday. So we tell him on Thursday you could, on Wednesday you can. You get it? That the person only has one, he only has one shirt. And he comes to he's gonna wear it. If you wash it, he has to wash it and wear it before because he can't wash it and not wear it. There's nothing else to wear. So it could be that's what the Mishnah used to say, that if he has only one garment, we allow him to wash it and wear it on Thursday in order to be able to have it semi-washed, semi-clean on Thursday. He would have worn it Thursday and Friday, but at least come to Shabbos that it's a little been washed. So he didn't back down. Rav Nachman didn't back down. And Gemara brings down, you find such a concept of someone only having one garment. Nothing to do with us over here, but just bring that concept that even though you're not allowed to wash clothing on Chol HaMoed, but if you only have one garment, and even if you washed it before the Chag, what's the purpose of not washing on Chol HaMoed? You should have washed it before the Moed. But here he only has one garment. Even if you washed it before, he can't benefit. He has to wash it again on the Moed, on the Chol HaMoed. So he's allowed to. The one just brings this is only to show the concept of a Chol HaKechad. You find sometimes the person only has one garment.
So there we go with his.
So the Gemara continues. Muslav Machlokes now between Rav Nachman and Rav Sheshes. The Gemara brings somebody else holds also like Rav Nachman. Itmanami Yom Rav Binyamin. He also holds like Rav Nachman that it's only us if you're going to wear it, but washing it alone is not us. But now the Gemara is going to bring a brisa that says beferish like Rav Sheshes. Meisvei says in the brisa, Asa lachabis lefnei Tisha B'Av, afilu laniach lachat Tisha B'Av. That's it. That's the brisa. It says finish. Not allowed to wash before Tisha B'Av, even if you can leave it after Tisha B'Av. Just washing alone is also washed. That's how we paskin, that you're not allowed to wash even if you're not going to wear it. Then it goes on some more halachas about dishwashing. Right. Giyutz shalanu kibu shalem. So the word giyutz nowadays in modern Hebrew means to press, iron. That's what the word mekah hates. But it's not clear that that's what it means. But there were two levels of washing. One is called giyutz, one is called kibus. And giyutz was a more intensive kind of a washing. They talk about if it means with detergent or if it means ironing, whatever it might mean. And in Babel, they didn't do as good a washing as they did in Eretz Yisrael. And the main point of the Gemara is to say that what's called kibus in Babel is mutter. Even though it talks about kibus, that kibus is us, so that's only the Eretz Yisrael washing. They talk about it was cleaner water or they used detergent, whatever the case might have been. They did kibus. Eretz Yisrael was cleaner than the wash of Babel. And it means to say that the kibus, the washing of Babel is mutter. The whole issue of washing is only when you're in Eretz Yisrael washing. It's a good washing. But Babel, even after you wash it, it's not so clean. So that's mutter. But what we in Babel call giyutz, which is like the super cleaners, so that's the level of the regular washing in Eretz Yisrael. That's also awesome. So it comes out in Eretz Yisrael, you're not allowed to do giyutz or kibus. Even this regular cleaning in Eretz Yisrael is clean. In Babel, you're only not allowed to do the super cleaning, but you could do the regular cleaning. How does that apply to us? We have to know what all this means. Does it mean detergent? Does it mean clean water? Does it mean ironing? This the post can talk about. And they're pretty machmir what that are. Washing is also.
So is there not community Eretz Yisrael in New York or?
No, it's not going to be New York. It's going to be what is called washing nowadays. If it means, but if you do plain water, maybe more mutter. Today everything's super clean. Okay, so then everything should be
also. America's cleaners are much better than that.
Oh, sure.
No such thing. Well, clean fish done and then mishum giyutz. Another point.
You kidding?
This is the clean fish done. Nowadays they don't use fish done too much. But in those days, pishtan was used to say that even if you do giyutz to these undergarments, that's not considered. That's not what we're talking about. We're not answering that either. How does this apply to nowadays? Maybe there's more heter for undergarments, but here it says that pishtan is I'm not saying Kli Pishtan is only undergarments, but they use it for undergarments also. But Kli Pishtan, something made out of Pishtan, it doesn't get so clean. And even if you did Giyos, it's not going to be also in the.
It's not shy to be gilus. They have a certain, I think Christian is not.
But you're talking about Giyos, but you're talking about Giyos of nowadays, what we call Giyos. But it's not so clear what the word Giyos means. They in the modern Hebrew, they use the word Giyos for ironing, but not so simple that that's what it means.
So what's he saying? He's saying it's a different din?
A Giyos might be in a different material, but it's saying Pishtan has no issue of Giyos. Kli Pishtan, you'd be allowed, the issue of washing clothing does not apply to Kli Pishtan. Why does that? Does it apply to us nowadays? We don't have Kli Pishtan. We don't use Pishtan.
No, you get some. Yeah, it's some stores sell
more natural stuff.
a little more, stuff. Yeah, and also more expensive stuff.
Here looks at it like it doesn't get washed well. Not sure. But what a couple of points. The main point we're looking for is that it's also to wash. That's the main point. Look, my focus of Sheb Nachman. So they're wash it, even not going to wear it. But two more dinim, you're allowed to do kibbutz and you just can't. Is just going to do it with oh, this is good. That's good. Thank you. Okay, the Gemara continues. First white line. First white line. We just said there's no issue washing Kli Pishtan. There's linen clothing. They're washing them. But now, before we spoke about a little bit the opposite. Before the Gemara thought the Isra is only to wear it and not to wash it. Now we came out there's Isra to wash it also. And now the Gemara is saying that even something that you are allowed to wash, you're not allowed to wear. So even though we said that you're allowed to wash the Kli Pishtan, but you're not allowed to wear it.
Doesn't this make you think that is more correct in their start?
What did they say?
The Rosh B'Shabbat Shechal Tisha B'Av.
The Gemara the whole time just talks about Shvosh Shechal Bodom. Yeah, so we have a minhag. The Ashkenazim is a minhag. It's not based on the Gemara. It's harchava. A lot of things in the 9 day, 3 weeks also. Things harchava. It's Am Yisrael took on the morning. And the din of the Gemara it only says that Shvosh Shechal Bodom. It's not also in adina. Just mematin. What is that called? That it says that to eat meat and drink wine only by the Sunnah of Sekes, and we don't do it for 9 days. So all these things there's harchava that Am Yisrael took upon themselves more mourning. Second, now new sugi now. The rest of the sugi now, second white line. Now the Gemara it says Shvosh Shechal Bodom. The whole time it says the week that Tisha B'Av fell out in. So this guy he brought up at the top of the page. Is it Aser after Tisha B'Av? Shvosh Shechal Bodom. Week that Tisha B'Av fell out.
How's the Monday?
So what's about Tuesday? Tisha B'Av is what's in the beginning of the week. Do you say that it's Aser the whole week? You might say that the week.
Really just say that only. Oh, you said.
I said. Gadi asked a question about the mazel over there. So I said the Gemara's going to talk about it now. The Gemara starts off is not simple. A big machlokes, and the Gemara is going to find the machlokes Amaru, machlokes Tanam. When we say Shvosh Shechal Bodom, that is also the week that Tisha B'Av falls out. Is it only until Tisha B'Av, or it's even after Tisha B'Av? That week is all also. So the Gemara starts off with a machlokes. Amarav lo shanu ela lefanav. It's only also the week of Tisha B'Av until Tisha B'Av. Avol achrav muter. After Tisha B'Av passes, then there's no more than of these restrictions. But Shmuel argued. Shmuel said that even after Tisha B'Av is also also the whole week is also. According to Shmuel, even after Tisha B'Av, the rest of the week is also going to be also whatever it says about taking a haircut and washing clothing. Meisvei, the Gemara has a kasha from Brisa, from the Mishnah. The Mishnah says what we just said, that the week of Tisha B'Av is also to take a haircut and to wash clothing. Then it says this is not a Mishnah, it's a Brisa. On Thursday, you are allowed to wash the clothing to cover Shabbos. But the Brisa goes further than the Mishnah. What's the case that we say that B'chamishi is mutter, the holding a Shvosh Shechal Bodom? Keitzad chol yos be'echad b'Shabbos, mutter l'Chabbos kol ha'Shabbos kula. It's a fair Brisa like Rav. It's a closed case. It says in the Brisa that if it came on Tisha B'Av on Sunday, you're allowed to wash the rest of the week. What does that mean? That after Tisha B'Av is over, it's over. that Tisha B'Av was Sunday, so there's no Shvuah Shecholbo because the rest of the
Yeah,
week
but
is
it
after Tisha
only
B'Av.
says Lechabez, it doesn't say Lebesh.
The Mishnah doesn't talk about the labesh. The Mishnah calls it lachabes, and we saw in the Gemara that it means also to wash, to wear it. We said that was a previous sugi. You're right. The Mishnah says the word lachabes, and the Gemara before had a machlokas if it means lilbosh. Also, we came out that it means even to wash alone without lilbosh. But that's it all means the same thing. Now it says that if it came out on Sunday, the rest of the week is mutter. That means that after Tisha B'Av, it's over. There's nothing, no shvuah shecholvo after Tisha B'Av. This is mamish like Rav. Then it goes further. B'sheni, b'shlishi, b'ravi, b'chamishi. If a Tisha B'Av came out on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, only the fun of us asa. Lachav is mutter. It's only us until Tisha B'Av. After Tisha B'Av, it's mutter. So again, parish like Rav. There's no shvuah shecholvo after Tisha B'Av. Chol yos be'erev Shabbos. If it comes out Tisha B'Av on Friday, mutter l'chabis b'chamishi b'bnei kvod. This is an exception, even though it's before Thursday, in order to have clothing for Shabbos, as we just spoke about, either washing alone or washing and wearing, but we come out that it's also even to wash. So here we would say that you're allowed to wash on Thursday for Shabbos, but it says beferish that a few times it says in this Brisa that the Issa Shua Shecholbo is only until Tisha B'Av. After Tisha B'Av is over. The mamash like Rav. The Imlo Ki Beis B'Chamishi B'Shabbos. The Gemara goes on a while. It's going to take a time till the Gemara is going to be tifted over here a couple of lines later. But the Gemara is going through the whole Brisa with some explanation. But the rise over already. It says beferish that it's only also until Tisha B'Av. If it came out on Sunday, there's no Shvuah Shecholbo Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's only until Tisha B'Av. Friday, it's the whole week except for Thursday. But it says again and again that there's no musag of Shvuah Shecholbo after Tisha B'Av is over. After the 9th, there's nothing afterwards. So this the Brisa continues already. We'll continue with the Brisa, but the Raya we already have. What if somebody Tisha B'Av came out on Friday? And he has to wash his clothing for Shabbos. So we tell him you can wash it on Thursday, but he forgot, whatever reason, he didn't wash it on Thursday. Now it's Tisha B'Av, and he has to have clothing for Shabbos. So this is a big chiddush. Mutar l'chabes be'erev Shabbos. He's even allowed to wash on Tisha B'Av itself.
Oh, is it Shabbos Nidche?
No.
Tisha
B'Av was on Friday. And nowadays it doesn't come out. Nowadays it doesn't come out. But nowadays it doesn't come out. In those days it came out. We organized the calendar that it shouldn't come out, but then it came out. So if Tisha B'Av came out on a Friday,
You could wash.
so you're allowed to wash on Thursday. What if you didn't wash on Thursday? It says you're allowed to wash on Friday, on Tisha B'Av alone. Not Tisha B'Av in the morning, but in the middle of the you'd be allowed to wash your clothing for Shabbos. But like Allah, Abai Krista, such a person that would do that. Make sure you wash it before. Don't forget. And then you end up washing on Tisha B'Av. That's too bad, not good. So make sure you wash it before. But anyway, that's what it said, that you would be allowed to wash on Tisha B'Av itself if you need the clothing for Shabbos.
So who said what? I'm sorry. Who said that you may do that? And
The Brisa said that you may, and then the one interjects that Abai cursed somebody that relied on that, and he didn't wash it before.
How can you curse somebody who goes according to the Brisa?
No, he should have not. The post going to say that if he forgot, he thought he should do it, but he shouldn't have put himself to such a situation. He should have washed it. If he'd be an honest, then Abai wouldn't curse him. But Abai said, if you could have washed it Thursday, don't forget, and then end up washing it on Tisha B'Av. The Brisa continues. No, the Brisa is continuing Hilchos Tisha B'Av already, so we're continuing because we want to know Hilchos Tisha B'Av. But as far as the kasha that we're looking for, that the Brisa said openly, like Rav, that it's no Shvuah Shecholbo after Tisha B'Av. But what is continuing already gets some Hilchos Kriyas Torah. If Tisha B'Av came out on a Monday or a Thursday, so how do you do Kriyas Torah? Kohen Shlosha, Ma'afti Rechad. Then you have 3 aliyahs, because I'm just anyway it would have been 3 aliyahs. So you have 3 aliyahs, and the Ma'afti is the third one, so he's going to get Ma'afti. But the Tanna Kama says, if Tisha B'Av came out on a Tuesday or Wednesday, not a Monday and Thursday, maybe probably means also a Sunday. So,
why would you think that?
What do you mean?
It's Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday.
The Tanna Kama says there's a difference of Kriyas Torah Monday and Thursday. If Tisha B'Av comes on Monday and Thursday, since anyway there's a Kriyas Torah that you do Monday and Thursday, so then you do 3 aliyahs. But if it will be a date that doesn't have Kriyas Torah, just as Tisha B'Av, so it's not going to be a Kriyas Torah of 3 aliyahs, it's just going to be a Kriyas Torah of 1 aliyah. We never heard of such a thing. We never heard of such a thing. That Tisha B'Av, the Tanna Kama says, there's a Kriyas Torah of 1 aliyah, and he gets maftir also. There's 1 aliyah with a maftir. He does the maftir. But only on a Monday and a Thursday, where anybody's a Kriyas Torah, then he gets 3 aliyahs.
What's happening?
What
do we do?
We do like Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi Omer la'olam kohen shlosh maftir b'echad. You always have 3 aliyahs, even on Tisha B'Av that comes out on a Tuesday, Wednesday. Also, you have 3 aliyahs. That's how we hold. All this was the Brisa, and we needed it. We wanted it only because of the Brisa. All this was the Brisa. These couple of lines of all the Brisa, and we end up. I'm sorry, I can't get it. Okay, but we wanted all that in order to show that there's no Shmuel Shecholbo after Tisha B'Av. And we Taka proved it. Tifta the Shmuel. It's a Bryce against Shmuel. Shmuel says that this Shmuel Shecholbo is even after Tisha B'Av. And this Bryce says, no, there's no Shmuel Shecholbo after Tisha B'Av. So Shmuel says, you're right. This Bryce says like you, but I have a Bryce also. Shmuel says it's a Machlokes Laram because I have a Bryce like me. So you're right. Your Bryce says like you. I've found a Bryce also that says that there is Shmuel Shecholbo even after Tisha B'Av. Tanya. Tisha B'Av Shechol Yos B'Shabbos. Tisha B'Av came on Shabbos, or B'chein Erev Tisha B'Av Shechol Yos B'Shabbos, or Erev Tisha B'Av came on Shabbos. So in both cases, Tisha B'Av is going to be on Sunday, and you're eating either it's a dacho, it's not a dacho either way, but you're eating Suda Shlishis. Since it's still Shabbos, there's no Suda Mafsekes, you're allowed to eat and drink whatever you want, and you can put onto your table the way Shlomo Melech would have done when he was in his prime. Bishanto. The Gemara talks about, Rashi says sometimes Shlomo was up and then he went down. He wasn't always in his glory, but the way the Gemara always expresses when Shlomo was in his glory, that it says how much his table would be. You're allowed to make a feast on the meal right before Tisha B'Av comes in. Right before Tisha B'Av tonight, Motzei Shabbos is going to be Tisha B'Av, or Nitcha, whatever the case is. But now it's Shabbos. We'll call it Suda Shlishis, we'll call it, that people are eating before the fast comes in, so there's nothing to Suda Mafsekes, you can eat whatever you want. That's not a to us right now. Here Rav Meir says, different than our Mishnah. This is similar to the Ashkenazim. It's not allowed to take washing from Rosh Chodesh until Tisha B'Av. Now we don't pass like this really. We don't like this. Minig Ashkenaz comes from this. Rav Meir says that it's also for 9 days. He has the 9 days from Rosh Chodesh until Tisha B'Av. But don't notice he says out of time. He's the one who stresses only also until Tisha B'Av. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Kol HaChodesh Kolo Asa. Rabbi Yehuda says the whole month is Asa. It sounds like the whole month is Asa. The whole month of Av is going to be Asa. 30 days is going to be Asa L'Safo L'Chabes. So Shimon Gamliel Omer Eino Asa Ella Osa Shabbos Mulvat. He's the most lenient only that week. So the first Meir said 9 days. Rabbi Yehuda said 30 days. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel said 7 days.
Okay, so half the Brisa holds like the other Tanai.
Which Tana? Which question?
The previous one. So here there's a machlokas between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. So let's go because there's 2 to 1. The previous Brisa says Kula that is on.
We're not going to do like Rabbi Meir. We're going to do like Rabbi Shimon Gamliel. But the question is,
what's the
question is if Shmuel Shecholbo includes the days after Shavuot also.
Oh, we're still holding.
That's what we're looking
question.
for. So here the Gemara thinks, the Gemara said, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, since he doesn't say Alatinus, but Meir, when he says Alatinus, Rabbi Shimon Gamliel doesn't say that. Also, says Kol HaChodesh, he doesn't say Alatinus. A month, it's all a whole week. So this is Shmuel. Well, that when you say Shavuot Shechol like Rabbi Meir, we're going like Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, but he says the whole week, and the week means even after Tisha B'Av. So it's true that Rav brought a brisa that says that Shavuot Shechol is only Asar until Tisha, but this brisa says that it's Asar the whole week. Another brisa says the same thing. V'tanya Yidach, v'noig Avel, Meir Chodesh Alatani Stibra. Meir is the same. That Avel says from Chodesh until Tisha B'Av. Rabbi Yehuda Kol HaChodesh Kula Asar the whole month. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel Omer Asar Elo Asar Shabbos Bovad. It seems to be the same thing, Mamish. The same repetition of the brisa. 3 opinions: 9 days, 30 days, 7 days.
What does it say? No Avel Mirosh. Is that what you?
Yes. Meir Chodesh Alatinus. That's 9 days, right? Did Rabbi Meir says the whole yeah, 30 days. So we have a price each way. So as far as our machlokas, we have machlokas Rav and Shmuel, and you have 2 prices. So we don't know yet who the paskin like. And we can paskin only Shmuel Shecholbo. We're not going to stay the whole month and 9 days. But we want to know if Shmuel Shecholbo is also the whole week or not, only until Tisha B'Av.
Thank God for Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel.
He's the most lenient.
Well, that's where all the coolest. Basically, didn't know.
That will be the whole month. Now we do 9 days. The Ashkenazim did more. That Allah is only going to be Shmuel Shecholbo. We do 9 days. We should be so. We shouldn't have to mourn anymore. All 3 of them got it from the same pasuk. As the whole week, one says the whole month, they got it from the same pasuk. This is a pasuk I'm going to stop all of its joy. It's Chag, it's Chodesh, it's Shabbos. So the Pashup Pshat is I'm going to stop all the celebrations of the Chagim and the Rosh Chodesh and the Shabbos. I'm going to stop all of the celebrations because Am Yisrael is doing Averis. So Hashem says I'm going to stop all of its celebrations. But the Gemara sees in these words, Chagah, Chadsha, and Shabbata. Madam Rosh Chodesh, Adatainis, Mechagah. So here they say Rosh Chodesh is called a Chag. I said in the beginning of the evening today, but I made a mistake this way. It says that Chag is called the Rosh Chodesh. Chagah is referring to Rosh Chodesh. Next page over here. Mechagah. The word let's see over here. I knew Kloma, Yalav time of Chagah. I knew Rosh Chodesh. It's called a Chag. Like you see Kabbalah line away, that was the daf before, that it's called a Chag. So when it says I'm going to stop your Chag, it means that I'm going to make that into Arbelos.
But it also has the word Chodesh coming in.
No, that's going to be the whole month. Not only Rosh Chodesh, I'm going to stop the whole month. That means 30 days. The one who says that the week is Shabbat. It's not the Pashup Pshat. The Pashup Pshat, the Pasuk is going to mean Shabbos means Shabbos, Chodesh means Chodesh, Rosh Chodesh. But the Drash is saying the Shabbos means the week and Chodesh means the month. Now we get to that. So we have a brayso each way. Is Shvur Shechol Bo Aser after Tisha B'Av or not? Now when it comes to Paskin, Amar Rabba Alachat Rab Shimon Gamliel, Amar Rabba Alachat Rab Meir. Tevari Lakula. Rabba says you pass like both of them, but each one has a Chomer and a Kula, so you pass like all the Kulas. We do Shvur Shechol Bo only until Tisha B'Av. Means the Gemara says Usricha Diash Min Alachat Rab Meir Hava Meir Afilim Rosh Chodesh. If you would have said Alachat Rab Meir, that's only until Tisha B'Av. But when does it start? It starts from Rosh Chodesh already, 9 days. And you don't want to say that. That it's not Asher from Rosh Chodesh, it's only Asher the week, Shavua Shechol Bo. But if you would have said like Rav Shimon Gamliel, then it would mean even after Tisha B'Av, the rest of the week. If Tisha B'Av came out on Tuesday, it's also the whole week. Even after Tisha B'Av is over. That is only Asher until the time is. So we took the 3 shittas. One is 30 days, one is 9 days, one is 7 days, and we made even less than 7 days. We made it only be from the beginning of the week until Tisha B'Av, whenever it is. But the Ashkenazim, they expanded it to do the Chumrah from May, from the beginning. Just to summarize, that's a summary as they come. Okay.
Where's the last word?
We got until the 2 dots, right? Yeah. So a summary, where are we holding? The Gemara started about the 5 things that happened on Tisha B'Av, and the first one was that there was Nigzal Avosenu, not there's Israel, but a story of the miracle, and the one makes the cheshbon starting from the 20th of Iyar and figure out all the episodes that happened, and it came out that they sent the miracle on Chavtes Sivan, and they count 40 days, but the cheshbon that Tammuz was a Molay, so it comes out to Ches Av, the miracle came back on the 8th of Av, and at night they cried, that became a Bechil Adoros. The first Chorban was in Tisha B'Av, and then one says, doesn't say openly, but it says the 7th, and it says the 10th. Pasuk in Malachim, Pasuk in Yirmiyah, and in order to reconcile the Pasuk, it means that they came in and they walked through the Shasu, Kilkulu, and they burnt it towards the evening of Tisha B'Av, and then it burnt the whole day of the 10th. That's why it says the 7th and the 10th. And Rabbi Yochanan Mazakeh said, I would have made it on the 10th, but the one who instituted Tisha B'Av, they said the 9th because the Aschalta de Pernusa is the Iker. The second base of Mikdash, the Gemara says we know so, and the Gemara says that Megavu and Choval the Yom Chayiv, that the bad thing happens on the bad day. 4 points on Tisha on a Sunday, the first week of Shvius, and the first of the Kohanim of the beginning of the cycle of 24. And it says it's Esmisem. They didn't say Esmisem Hashem Elokeinu, and it happened both in the first Chorban and the second Chorban. To destroy them. Summers. Esmisus. Nilkada Beta and Nechbashal Ir, both of them were Masorah. We don't know. There's no pasuk on it, of course. It's handed by Sheni. And then the Gemara said to the surface that there was a Gamliel and a Hegmon. He saved him by first hinting him to that his life is a danger, and he hid. And then he told him, "Well, if I say he will give me," told him, I'll be swore that yes.
Is that what Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel we're just learning now? Is that the same Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel?
And the Hegmon threw himself off the roof, and the Romans, when something like that happened, somebody died, so then they battled the Gzera and these it talks about the Kohanim at the time of the Chor. They threw up to the roof and they threw up the keys, and they said, "We won't take back the keys." Right. and they threw themselves into the fire. And the word means the pasuk about Chalalayich lo chalalechem v'lo meisei mulchama. Going with them, it doesn't say over here, but the Gemara said earlier that it means about binyan shel simcha. Also, Rav said, and therefore, if you have a court case with a guy that push it away from Av until Ada, and then the Gemara brings down two bonuses from Rav Yehuda, Beid, Shmuel, Bashivas, Mishmei, Rav. One is about that in Bavel they had palm trees and pishtan, they were able to get food and clothing at a cheap price, even though it was dollars, but there was something good over there, and to be able to help them to learn Torah. Right? And that's the tomorrow, the column. And the next thing was about that when it says Reach Benik, Reach Sadesh, Berach Hashem, that's referring to Sadesh Al Tapuchim. So it says maybe it says Rogim. Then the Gemara brings down the issue of washing clothing.
It smells very beautiful. I can understand that.
The issue of washing clothing, the machlokas, if you only want to wash it and not wear it, is it also or not? We had a machlokas of Nachman and Sheshes, and the Gemara trying to bring a raya that says you're not to do with the Kavod Shabbos, but the Gemara said maybe that's somebody who has to wear it also. It was Matchan Raya, but the Ma'ase has a Bryce of Farish that it's also even to wash, even if you're not going to wear it, and that's how we pass it.
Even though Yom Chamishi, that's okay.
Then you're allowed to wash the Kavod
Jewish
Shabbos.
Chalbais.
Right.
What's going on?
Then you're allowed to wash the
We
Kavod
don't
Shabbos.
ask like that, obviously.
So why? It says you should. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen by at
It's Friday.
Tisha B'Av doesn't come out on Friday. But otherwise, you should pass like it. No one seems to argue. And then the more Agav comes in also about kibbutz. Shalanu have a good kibbutz, and then there would not be no gifts. And then Pishtan is no issue at all, but you're not allowed to wear it. You just are allowed to wash it. But I don't know if that applies to us. We don't have the kibbutz too much. I'm not sure. Pishtan we don't either. There is some heter. So we said that nowadays that's what they call in modern Hebrew, but it's not so clear that's what they meant over there.
How about
And the Rishonim
underwear,
talk about-
like underwear? Can you-
And I don't know if that's what the
Can you
Gemara means by
watch
Kli Pishtan. They do talk about if it's going to be some kind of medical issue or somebody gets the rashes and things like that, the other heterim. But the Kli Pishtan doesn't mean Dafka undergarments. It means things made out of Pishtan that it doesn't wash so well. That's what it seems like. I'm not sure. Maybe it doesn't mean the Kli Zay. I'm not sure. The next Gemara talks about talks about some other interesting thing comes in. But the main sugi is when we say Shvuah Shechalbo was about Shvuah Shechalbo, but now the days of that week after Tisha B'Av. So Machlokas Rav and Shmuel said that's also the whole week. Rav said not. He bought a brayso that fares like Rav, that it's only also until Tisha B'Av. But Shmuel bought a brayso like him, that others say that it's the whole week. Rav Shimon Gamliel. And the Gemara at the end Paskin is like all the coolest that it's not like Rav Meir says 9 days, not like Rav Yehuda says 30 days, and not even like Rav Shimon Gamliel that says 7 days. It's only from the beginning of the week until Tisha B'Av. And we said Ashkenazim are machmir, the minhag Ashkenazim is to be machmir like a mayor from Tisha B'Av, but it's not a din, it's not a halacha. It's the minhag that we took upon us about then we mutter to wash it on Thursday, and even if he did it, then I didn't be mutter to wash it on Tisha B'Av itself. And but Abai said, stay away from that. Don't wash on Tisha B'Av. And the last thing that we had was that the Kriyas of Torah. That Tanakh says you only have 3 aliyahs when it comes out on Monday and Thursday, but otherwise you only have 1 aliyah with maftir. And Rabbi Yossi says no, you always have 3 aliyahs on Tisha B'Av, and that's what we passed to.
That was a Tana?
Rabbi Yossi the Tana. Yeah. It should be a good week, and it should be the Biyah based on Mikdash.
Oh man, we definitely posted seemingly very predominantly from the Bryce.
Okay, I mean that's where if we don't have enough information from the mission, we bring a brisa, and then
But predominantly
usually
from what we learned,
that's when the Gemara wants to
every
prove
day,
something. It goes from brises, yeah. That's what
we
from
get
Tanoim.
most of our information from
And
the
the
Bryce.
Marom have a machlokas, so then they could come a brisa. Usually not going to argue on a brisa. Yes, go on, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
You did a
Thank
nice
you.
job, Robert, considering
You came at the right time,
you're
buddy.
doing so well.
No, I got
That's
it
a
all. I
question.
got it all.
Yeah, yeah.